Hi, gang. It's Hexy, and we are playing Terrible Swift Sword SPI from the 1970 somethings, I'm sure. Anyhow, we are into the getting ready to start the 0900 turn on July 1st. All right. Of course, everybody knows the first day fight. Buford's cavalry checking Harry Heath's division until First Corps can arrive, or the First Division's First Corps can arrive, and General Reynolds can arrive. All right, so here we have it. Rolling up the Cashtown Pike or Chambersburg Pike, whatever you want to call it. And as always with TSS, and I never think about it until after I start playing, you don't have to charge in there with this infantry against this dismounted cavalry carrying carbines, okay? That get multiples of 4 at point blank range and 2 at 2 hexes. You can sit back at 3 or 4 hexes, at 4 hexes, and take pot shots or 3 hexes and exchange balanced fire with the cavalry. But no, every time I play this thing, I decide I want to take them right into their face, okay? So you would think that an entire infantry division would be able to chase 2 brigades of cavalry off the battlefield. All right? Didn't happen on July 1st, 1863. And for me, it never happens when I play this game. Three Dog can be a different story. So we decided once, the initial deployments on the actual July 1st were Archer and Davis, one on the right side of the Cashtown, one on the left side of the Cashtown Pike, and they were just going to drive the cavalry off the ridges and drive them back into Gettysburg. All right, didn't happen that way. So we deployed almost the same way because of the way Hare Ridge is along the Pike, and then just a little more to the right or the south of it, and we decided to push in. Now it's hard when Davis or Archer's brigade only has regiment strengths of 2 and 1, 200 men, 100 men. And then Davis's brigade, was he the nephew of Jefferson Davis, I think? He has some slightly stronger units. And then, of course, their elite regiment with Pettigrew is now on the battlefield here. And, boy, he got unloaded on in his first – well, not here back. He's back here. Davis got unloaded on by the cavalry. And we were able to take down some of the gun strength here from Tidball's battery sitting here. They're down to 3 now because of all the Confederate cannons sitting there. The only problem is they're burning up ammunition. I am doing the ammunition point track over there next to the turn record track. I'm not using the advanced rules. I had considered using the GBACW fire charts from the newer games, but I decided no, we'll just play this one out because I know these rules. I've known them for years, so we'll just play this one out and see what happens. And I always find that when these carbines are shooting, they can chew this infantry up. So sometimes your best bet might just be sit back with this infantry, and like I say, shoot longer range at the cavalry, which might explain the minimal losses that Buford actually took on the first day, because the infantry wasn't just going to charge in there in the face of those carbines shooting at him. And then, of course, a battery of guns sitting there, rifled guns sitting there. But the Confederate artillery, they're starting to get a mass of it here. They'll get involved. They'll start changing this charge They'll start changing the face of the fight here. We decided to take one of Devon's regiments, move them forward, take a pot shot at these limbered artillery units. And, of course, when small arms fire, if they get a hit on artillery, it just pins them. But they won't be able to fire in the next phase. Not sure what that accomplished. He's not going to be able to do anything, but this guy's going to flip. He's going to move forward and flip. So he's going to have all these guns. That was probably a bad move because he's going to have at least 3 or 4 batteries are going to fire right in his face in this next Confederate turn at 0900. Good old Brockenbrough and the Virginians are coming up. I wonder what they're... And I'm using the lettered morale chart that came with some of the errata. And Brockenbrough's boys are on table D. Archers are the worst. It's amazing because none of them have routed yet. Also, Davis, he was killed. So I'll be doing a replacement on him. And yeah, that's pretty much where you got it. I mean, you can't, if I turn the camera around, you'll see where Buford or Reynolds, there's Reynolds right there on the edge of Gettysburg, right here, all right, right there. And there's a battery, and then the Iron Brigade, 1st Brigade and 2nd Brigades, the 1st Division, 1st Corps coming on. And they get their next reinforcements, I think, at 9:40. Howard arrives, just him. And the Confederates' next reinforcement, I believe, is going to be Pender. Let's see. Yeah, they won't get Pender till noon. So they get some more artillery coming on. So it's just Heath until, noon when Pender arrives. And then they start to get the number. Of course, you know what happens after Pender arrives. Then Rhodes arrives. Then Early arrives. The 11th Corps will be on the field. Pretty much all of 1st Corps will be here. And then it should turn into I don't want to call it a rout fest, but a runaway fest once all of that starts happening. But we'll see as it progresses. You never know. Heath is going to have to make this fight by himself till noon. Okay, so one of you experts out there, maybe Tour Guide Phil will catch this. I'm sure that the troops weren't fighting nonstop. I know they would fall back, they would regroup, maybe attack, an hour later, something like that. I'm sure that happened multiple times on the first day's fight. Because at the rate that Heath has taken these initial casualties, and then, like I say, you've got the 1st Division, 1st Corps coming up, he's not going to be able to sustain an attack until noon. Just my opinion. I don't see it happening. Because using the lettered route table, D is the best. There's A, B, C, D, and E on the table, and the 2 lowest ones are D and E, and every one of his brigades, Heath's brigades, are D or E. So the odds of them routing under fire combat or when they take a casualty, leaders getting lost, like I said, we've already lost Davis. So I don't know. I think this is going to have to be a sit back and shoot from a distance. You're not charging up there to face these guys because first off, Pettigrew could pull it off because he's got stronger units, 6s, 7s, and Davis even has a couple 7s, which they've already routed, as you can see right here. Such a pain in the butt. But they have units that are strong enough that they can get up here in their face and not rout from the fire that gets put on them from the carbines. Maybe they can melee the cavalry off there. And of course, if any units withdraw out of zone control, they're going to get shot at, and they're going to get shot at in their ass end. Now, not to also mention is, you've got the crest hexes, which are going to give you a shift on the fire when firing through it. But these C units, because they're capable of being reloaded while laying down, they get another column shift. So it's hard to get, and I'm starting to understand now, once again, why Buford probably didn't. Well, I think I saw something where he only took 127 casualties the first day. Somebody correct me if that's wrong, but I've heard that so many times. Maybe that explains how that happened, because other than the artillery, I think we did have one massive volley that took a casualty here, but the artillery has not been able to hit these guys. They've been able to hit that gun. But I don't know. We'll get a bunch of these cannons up in here shooting and burn up a whole bunch of ammunition to see if we can't do some damage to that cavalry. But I figure it's going to be another probably 4 turns, maybe 5 before the Iron Brigade or the 1st Division. I couldn't do that because there's 2 brigades in that 1st Division before they get up here and get into this fight. So, all right. So there you have it. Terrible Swift Sword. See, this thing started at 7:20 in the morning? 7:20 or 7:40, and we're getting ready to start the 0900 game turn, and the fight is on. All right. You know the deal. Hey, if you like it, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. That way you can keep up with what I got going on. And any friends you got out there that might be interested in this, tell them about it. Tell them to get on here and take a look. We're going to try to play as much of this 3-day fight as we can. All right, talk to y'all soon.